YouTubers! Welcome to my new channel, Juana in Norway! Yoo-hoo! For my first ever video project as a vlogger, I am choosing the topic about what a typical Norwegian is. Are you curious to know some of their most common traits and habits? Well, let's begin! Norwegians are a weird bunch of people? Or is it a bunch of weird people? Whatever. But that is what this young Norwegian blonde lady on the left said as an intro to her channel when she tackled about the typical Norwegians. She didn't mean it in a bad way though. Cornelia Grimsmo's vlog has inspired me to react on what she tackled regarding her fellow citizens, and at the same time motivated me to add my own version here based on my experiences. So first, let's start with this habit of in-breath and out-breath way of talking that she did on her video. It's something like this. Okay, I don't know if I got it right, but let's see how a typical Norwegian does it.
As I know of, I think we're the only people who talk on in-breath as well as out-breath. So it's not unusual for us to be like, yeah, how are you doing? It sounds so weird in English, but I actually talk like that a lot. And I know my mom does as well. So yeah, it's very common if someone tells you a story or something, and when you listen, you're like, yeah, no, yeah, mm-hmm. yeah.
My husband does that all the time too. I thought it was only sort of regional because we live in mid-Norway, but hearing Cornelia, who is from Oslo, do that also, it surprised me a bit. Then it is probably the same for the rest of Norway, although I haven't personally met anybody from the northern part yet. Next is how typical Norwegians love to spend their holidays in a cabin, whether it is in the middle of the forest or near the lake, living their comfortable city life for days or even a week. Because they have good houses, but they can trade it anytime to live in a cabin with no electricity. Sometimes just a tent out in the wilderness. Grabe! We know that Norway is a first world country, and most Norwegians are accustomed to modern high-standard living. But still, they can be primitive when it comes to being with nature. Personal space, they invented it. Just kidding. What I mean is, even way before the COVID-19 pandemic, Norwegians already know what social distancing is. No, they are not snob or antisocial. A typical Norwegian is simply very shy, who doesn't like to be intrusive. In my home country, the Philippines, we can easily manage a small talk to strangers. In Filipino or Tagalog language, we are what we call usisero at usisera, feeling close agad to the one we are chatting with. But for Norwegians, you have to break that personal wall first by knowing them before you can actually get close to them. They are nice people, mind you, but you have to be aware that they really value their personal space. This expression of saying ha surprised me in the beginning because we also have that habit in Tagalog when we can't hear you, or sometimes to express shock or surprise. Norwegians say ha and we say ha. Maybe just like how Americans often use what in their daily conversation. Norwegians are not like the British people, though, who can be very polite by asking in a longer version. Excuse me, what did you say? Or, I am sorry, but can you repeat what you just said? Norwegians? Ha! That's it. Matpake. Matpake is very Norwegian. Baon in Tagalog, which basically means packed food or food packed. For Filipinos, I think our packed lunch, our version of matpake, is more common for pupils and students. Because when one is working, thus earning already, it is usual to go out of the office and buy from the nearby food shops or just order takeaway food. But for Norwegians, it is for everyone. Be it in school or at work, it doesn't matter if you are the richest or the oldest in your street. Matpake is with you, baby! So, although they can afford to buy their meals outside, they can be very basic by having simple cheese sandwiches with them in a lunch box. Some countries, like in Southeast Asia, are very particular with this practice of leaving the shoes outside. I know that in Japan and Korea they do that as one of their customs. But for us Filipinos, we are more flexible, I guess. If it is a guest, we just say, oh, it's okay, you don't have to take your shoes off, just come in. For Norwegians, you have to be polite to them and show respect to that habit of theirs, not taking the shoes inside the house. However, my husband and I are quite chill with it. We don't care if you come in with your shoes on. Cornelia has mentioned many other things on her video which are not here, and a few other things she did not tackle either, which to me are Typisk Norsk or typical Norwegian, like fishing. It doesn't matter if some Norwegians can buy big boats. They all enjoy the simple way of fishing in the lake or river. Rich men and the royals love to fish wild salmon and trout in summer and autumn. Everybody goes out for a walk anywhere on weekends, especially on Sundays. Even if they sometimes have too expensive cars in the garage, they will prefer to walk around the city, go to a park on foot, or hike a hill nearby. Lastly, there is so much to talk about how crazy they are in sports. Football, handball, volleyball, and all winter sports. They are good at it. Maybe I can feature those sports in my upcoming videos. What do you think? But for now, I'm summing all this up in 6 words. A typical Norwegian, first world, caveman. Please don't take it seriously. That's it. Oh, but wait. I have to tell you something. I've been so nervous doing this channel. It took some freaking time before I got to record this, actually. I didn't know that the process from planning to buying some stuff to thinking of what to do next to recording would be this hard. Oh, but I don't have an external mic and camera on my MacBook yet. And lighting also. Nah. Well, I hope to do better next time, and I hope you will join me again in my future videos. I don't know when yet, but definitely soon. Thank you so much for watching my co-YouTubers. Show some love, Subscribe. Mwah.